Well, it's,
He's gonna, hey, when I came back,
interesting. They're
sat on the
golf
I
looks bad, but
wasn't either, not even when you're so we're good.
we're our goal. So we never bring the other
I know, Jeff, you're that way here.
Yeah, we were like,
I think she's gonna recite
did you go to the store? You didn't go to the store.
I see in your yard, Dad. I walk it down.
you have a bunch?
Hey,
What happened to this one?
I'll be here. Go to your cards, have some time.
I don't understand really what they want, and they have an ending.
I've got the wrong girl.
Yeah, stuff to get finished.
I want to do trees. So you need this chainsaw.
But I think.
Let's do it. Oh, did you? We need to take the middle but this is stock tanks. You was then we have it for him.
He said, it's rain.
Rusted out old feed bugs.
Really?
I call it house.
That's newer than mine.
You don't have a ketchup stand.
That come with the shirt? Is that
Yeah, that's I'd add that. It's expensive. Oh, I cut my own hair. Yeah. I told this one guy at work, he said he's getting a haircut. He said, I cut my own hair. He goes, yeah, I'll do
So she was looking out,
that. This is a real
but looking out the
Okay, I'm gonna call the McCracken City Commission meeting for October 17th at 6:30 PM to order. And it is now 6:33. First, we're gonna have a roll call. Norman McNair, Commissioner.
Van Murray here.
Austin, Mayor. What's the deputy mayor?
Nicola Fairbaugh, City Clerk.
Amanda Kendall, City Treasurer.
Is this thing working?
Yep.
Okay. First, we'll have public comment. So we'll start with Diana Siler.
I just want to ask, and I'm sure you're aware of, we're putting together a McCracken parade. And I was just wondering what kind of support we can expect from the commission here, like maybe helping traffic or whatever on that day.
So you want us to look into getting traffic cones set up, or where do you want them, or give barriers, or?
Yeah, something like that. When we get a little closer, we can discuss it. I just was wondering if we could get some support on that night.
Okay,
Okay.
we can probably look into calling over to the sheriff's department and seeing what we can do, if there's any roads we can close with.
It'd just be a quickie, you know, going through and then coming back around and
We just don't
going
want
through.
no traffic coming.
But just, you
Yeah,
know,
interrupting.
we're starting to get some good feedback on it, so just want some support
And
with
we're
that.
gonna line up at the Legion and go north and then come this way, so we're gonna have to cross 4.
And then cross back over.
Oh, okay. So we're out of the route, then just, is it just a square, or is it?
It's gonna come up through, what is it, Main Street?
Well, yeah, but it's gonna start at the American Legion and go north to Lindos,
Okay,
and then come across to Main Street,
okay,
and then go south.
okay. And then you'll parade back to the
To the-
Legion?
Yes.
Okay. And it's for just golf carts, or? what
No,
is it?
it says right on there, any lighted vehicle.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I had heard at the library meeting that there was talk that it might be just golf carts, ATVs. They didn't know for sure. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, but it gives you a window there, as long as you, it's lit up and
Okay.
you're in costume, and it's a $5 entry fee,
Okay.
which goes towards the grand prizes for the first top three. It's gonna be a People's Choice Award, and on that People's Choice Award, there's gonna be a ballot box. I think we were talking about putting it over there by the fire station, is that correct?
They come across the highway.
Yeah.
Fire station, yeah.
The ballot
That'd be a
box?
problem.
We'll have to call the sheriff's department.
Oh, yeah.
I called the sheriff's department, they said they were gonna return my call, or somebody would get back with me, and I never heard back from them, so
What day was
we
that?
touched base with them.
What day was that?
It's been a couple weeks ago.
It's been a couple
Oh,
of
okay,
weeks.
yeah. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
No, I
Oh,
just
you want
want,
to talk on that, Arlene?
Well, I just want to, Valerie Anderson, with the little people, you know, they all, she was thinking about, they've got the big trailer, that they take them around Christmas caroling and et cetera. Anyway, she thought they might decorate it and let all the little people go through the parade.
yeah, we were
Yeah,
talking
we
about
did
that, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would really like them to be up front first and then have the American Legion behind and then go from there. I hadn't talked to her since, but I know she did the sign out there.
Yeah.
So we kind of mentioned that, and I was just waiting for her to decide what they want to do. And it's going to be in the paper, it's already going to be with GBT, it's in every county, on every bulletin board, and we're starting to get some good participation, so just looking for something positive in this town and something fun. So
Great idea. So she got in the paper then for you? Because I dropped the ad off for sure.
I talked to her, yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you for dropping that off for
You're welcome.
Shirley.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Not too much. Well, maybe this thing here should be later, because I've just picked up my mail and I'm confused what you guys are really looking for. It already has a cutoff date with the water
Do you have
supplier.
that on there, Nicole?
Yeah, I don't have it on there, but it's something that they're wanting to lead and copper, like they want to know all the lines are to every meter in town.
Uh-huh.
And if we can't figure it out, then we have to like tear up
Excavate.
the yards and
Tear
stuff
up the
to
yard,
get
yeah.
to them and find out what they
So
are.
the EPA.
It's the EPA, and so and it's till 2024 on there. So
Oh, but it says here, cutoff date.
that's
Oh, 24, you're right,
yeah.
you're right, I'm
and
sorry.
Don't be sorry because I didn't notice it too. That's why I got them out right away and didn't realize it was 2024 until later.
And then how do we know? How do we know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Do they expect
They
us to have
do.
somebody come in and?
They
Pay
expect
somebody
us
to
to
do it?
do it. Yes, they do. But I
Each
don't know.
individual at
Each
their
individual?
house
No,
or what?
the city will have
City
to.
will be
Yeah.
If you don't know, then the
If you
city
don't
will
know.
have to go and excavate yards and stuff to get to the pipes and find out. But I've been looking through, and I'm thinking that they have testing devices.
Okay.
They're kind of pricey, but not as much as tearing up people's yards. I mean,
Well, isn't there a record or any history on what
there isn't.
water pipes were laid when
Not
this stuff-
to every house. I mean, just the newer ones that have had their pipes done. But I mean, most people don't
That would be
know.
the first step.
Because it's pretty specific on there,
And this is a requirement by KDHE?
by the EPA.
Yeah.
Is this something new or what?
Mhm.
For everybody or just this town?
No, it's everybody.
everybody.
I think it's gonna eventually move into the Green New Deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
screw that
that's-
green
Well,
bill.
I just.
That's what it is, that's
It's
really
all
what
over
it is.
Flint, Michigan and Jackson, Mississippi.
Excuse me?
Like the thing that happened in Flint, Michigan, it's a, like that, it all goes back to that. They're just making sure that we don't have any more lead lines, and I know we don't. Actually, I can't say that. I'm almost sure that we don't, but I don't know about the copper. I have no idea.
Most
Yeah,
of
copper lines in
you
my
are
house.
gonna be galvanized as far as from your meter to your
John
house.
Zeller said that the lines that they have when he was in here, that nobody, he was the last house in McCracken that had lead lines. But he didn't specify whether that's from the meter to the home, or if it's underneath the home, or where it's at.
I understand too that west of Highway 183 had all new lines laid at one point in time, but the east side had not.
That's what I'm worried about is the
And,
east
and I
side.
do know the inside of our house is copper. And I'm gonna rely on plumbers that come up and have cleaned the line and see if they would by
Right.
chance know.
You can also sample your water.
See,
Okay.
they do, they
Send a
have,
sample in, and it will tell you whether there's any lead in your water.
Okay,
If there's no lead in the water, I wouldn't get very excited about it.
I don't have any lead in my britches, I know that.
I was gonna say
You think you
something.
lost yours, you ought to be in this one.
What?
I said, if you think you lost yours, you ought to be up here.
I would say 99.9 of them are galvanized.
I think they're wanting everybody to go to PVC, but that's not practical. I mean, that would be so expensive and,
Yeah.
but who knows what they'll be wanting.
But it doesn't say in there anything about, you
No.
can't have copper.
It
No,
just,
no.
I'm just
It
saying
just
what
wants you to know
eventually,
what
what I
you
think
have.
that they're wanting people to go to, just from what we read.
Because I know that the gas lines can't be copper. That's a big thing. You can't have
They're
the copper
just,
gas lines.
they're
But I
just
know that
looking
the
for
water-
lead, that's all they're looking for.
Yeah, just lead.
Like both my houses have picks. But the majority of houses either have galvanized or you're probably gonna have copper, one or the other.
It's the lead and copper rule, that's what it's listed under, if you wanted to look online and read it.
Well,
That's
Metro
what
Connor
it
told
is.
me that you could have copper, that it was just lead. They don't allow when they do plumbing.
Now, if you
Unless
see
they
a-
changed it.
If you
Unless
see a
this
line
changes that.
that, you don't know about,
Yeah, she's asking.
But like I
sharp
said, it's
object
2
and
years,
scratch it.
it's 2 years before any of that's like,
I was just, I just picked it up today. I'm
Oh,
like, what? And
I did
said,
too, I saw
October
October
16th. I'm
16th
like,
and I started
what?
having a panic attack and I didn't even, until I had all the, they were all sent out, then that's when I realized it was.
So there's time to investigate.
There's time,
Okay.
Find out where
You
it
Nobody
wouldn't have
did
to dig up your whole yard anyway. You just dig a hole, find your water line, and see if it's copper or what.
Yeah.
That's what I was,
From the line to the house?
Yeah.
and we have a new meter that just was put in this year.
Pretty much you can look in your, where your meter is and
No,
what's
you
coming
look at
from
the
your
meter.
meter in, that's gonna be what it is. And the ones I've read, they're pretty much all galvanized that went out from the meter to the house and from the main into.
If you're in doubt, have a plumber.
Well, like I said, and there is testing, like testing kits that we figured we would do for the houses that didn't know, because we have to tell them something. And they're, like I said, they're kind of pricey, but they're not as pricey as having to go, because we would be responsible to do all that, to dig up all that stuff.
The city.
This city, this the water supplier. And
So
so,
by galvanized lead, galvanized.
No,
No,
Galvanized
no, no.
steel.
No, you have like copper, you have copper lead, you have galvanized, and you have PEX, you have PCV, or PVC. So what I'm saying is when I read meters, what was going into the meter, out of the meter, those were 99% galvanized. And what's in your houses would probably be either galvanized or copper or PEX. Those are probably the three ones that would be. And copper's gonna look just copper. I mean, you can probably look at your stuff and just tell what it is.
That's probably coming.
It's galvanized steel, Gene.
It's galvanized steel.
Yeah.
So what's the end goal? Are they trying to enforce
To make
everybody?
They're trying to get rid of lead pipes.
Yeah, just to make sure nobody has lead in their
So
water
lead
and,
poisoning.
yeah, like I said, it's online.
We
Lead and copper
also,
rule.
as the city, we also have to, I think it's every 5 years, we do a lead test. And I think that was done, I could be wrong on this, but I think it was done right after I started doing it, that we had to send one in. But we did, we passed everything there, so I'm just saying probably 99% of them are all galvanized. And whatever would be inside their house, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, next we'll have Rose Deal.
Once again, I talk about accountability. If you're part of our community, I believe you should pay your taxes. I think it's important, if we're paying you as a city, and I'm directing it at you, Austin,
That's fine.
we need, have you paid your taxes?
That's none of your concern. You can look in a public paper.
And you have not. So,
There's your answer.
I'm just saying, if you govern and you're part of the community, if you flush it, if you drive on it, if you're using the library, please pay your taxes. It's fair for all of us in the community. And that's all. I will always, I hate to do that, but as you said, you wanted to do a walk and talk, and that's
Well, that's fine.
kind of my
You can walk and talk to
accountability.
with me when I go pay my taxes too, if you'd like. I'll
That
call
would
you.
be terrific, Austin. You can just call me.
No, I will. Okay, next we have Amanda Kimball.
I just want to clarify some things, okay? I'm speaking tonight, right now, at the city meeting during this public comment as a citizen of the town of McCracken and not as your city treasurer. I just want to clarify a few things the commission never did on my behalf. First off, I'd like to let it be known that I was not fired or asked to leave as manager of the McCracken pool. I made the decision to resign when the business with the pool was not being done in a professional manner, and I felt it was best for me and my family if I stepped away. After asking the commission to please take a look at the pool with the algae and bacteria was starting to take over at the pool, proper procedures were not done and there was no communication with the commission about it and my concerns. After asking the commission to look at the pool, a special meeting should have been called where we should have been a discussion and options should have been discussed for thoughts from the public and the pool's financials should have been looked over. Instead, it was come to my attention from members of the community that work was being done and without my knowledge. And decisions were being made without everyone involved. Money was being spent without knowledge of where the pool financials stood. I never wanted the pool to close. The pool was extra income for me and a job for my daughter, and the only thing that the kids in McCracken here have. People were being ugly with one another, and I felt it was just best to step away. It was also not because we couldn't keep the pool clean, and it wasn't because it was too much for me to handle. Lance and myself had done an amazing job the year before. Everybody commented about the pool being clean, but the pool losing circulation and not having the budgeted money to make necessary repairs at the point, it should have been closed, and better decisions could have been made so that the pool could have been open for years to come, and it, maybe not just another season. Several people at the committee have come up to Lance or myself stating how clean the pool was now, and that was never the problem with me or with Lance leaving in the first place. And we were puzzled by why these people kept coming up to us and making these statements. Secondly, my daughter Candace was a lifeguard at the pool, and she too was not fired or asked to leave. Actually, she was never asked anything. Not one contacted her to give her the option of helping to clean the pool or do anything with the pool. No hours were offered. In our family, we don't pay for everything. They pay half. For big things, and she's a senior this year, so everything, their summer job wasn't working out. Then we had heard that other people had been mentioned that they would be working there. At that point, she was offered another job that would get her up into the beginning of the school year and was guaranteed hours and pay. Just wanted to let everybody, so we were all on the same page of why there was no ill feelings or nothing, but it was best for me to step away. Communication on this was the biggest thing because there was none. Thank you all for listening. I just wanted to clear a few things up.
All right, thank you, Amanda. We will move on to the consent agenda. Okay, I'll just make a motion to approve this consent agenda, which is pay the bills and approve the warrants.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side. Motion carried. Okay, next we're going to have the resolutions and ordinances. So we'll have resolution 2022-07, City of McCracken, Kansas, appointment of city marshal. Whereas the City of McCracken, Kansas is a home rule city organized pursuant to Article 12, Section 5 of the Kansas Constitution, whereas the city has incorporated under the Board of Commissioners form of government under Articles 12 through 17 of KSA Chapter 15, whereas the pursuant of the KSA 15-1601, the Board of Commissioners must fill certain statutory city officers, including city marshal, whereas pursuant to 15-1604, the Board of Commissioners may appoint a qualified person to fill a vacancy if any city officer to serve the remainder of the current term. Now there be resolved by that the Board of Commissioners pursuant to the authority under the laws and the state of Kansas hereby appoints to fill the vacancy office of the city marshal, that their compensation be fixed by the Board of Commissioners in accordance with the ordinance of the City of McCracken, Kansas, that the Board of Commissioners authorizes and directs and to conduct all and fulfill all duties and responsibilities of the city marshal as set forth by ordinance. So we would need to vote to approve a resolution, which this resolution would appoint Frank Frankenbender to fill the vacancy of the city marshal. Is there a motion to do so?
I'll make a motion that we accept this resolution.
I second that.
It's been moved and seconded to accept resolution 2022-07. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same side. Motion carried. Okay. And Nicole will swear him in after we
So you're getting a city marshal. Okay. And now will they be somebody from in town or somebody from out of town?
Frank.
And who are you, Frank? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I am originally from the state of Florida. I grew up in Florida. I moved out here, been here, going on year 2. Currently I'm a wildland firefighter. I'm an incident commander type 5. So I have, skills and knowledge, qualifications in specific for this job and also outside of this job. So I do fight fire. I do building construction. I do all that kind of stuff on paper, I guess you would say, on the big terms, technical terms. I mean, I could throw all these technical terms out at you, but it's basically I'm here for you.
Now? Where are you working now?
So I'm actually, so I work for a company, a private fire company.
What's it called?
It's called Fireco.
Okay.
So that's what I do full time. And then out of season, I also work at the State of Kansas Forest Service as well.
Out of Hayes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my office, I don't really have an office for the state of Florida or for the
Work
state of
with
Kansas.
Jamie?
But no, so basically I work on a hand module in an
Okay.
engine. So when they request my services, I go work for them.
Okay.
And what will you do as city marshal?
So as that goes, so I'm basically appointed to basically look after specific codes out here in the city, different things. I mean, for permits, different violations, stuff like that.
Okay, so it's
That's what I
another
do.
term for code enforcement.
Yeah, I mean, there's different things, if there's stuff on behalf of the public, the city, that's where I kind of come in and say, look, all right, let's say building downtown, it's got really severe structure damage. What are we going to do? Make sure mitigate the situation so nobody gets hurt in the process before, during, and after, and seeing where we're at.
So you're getting on the burned out building,
Yeah, stuff like that.
that is.
There's different hazards. I mean, I can point stuff out. You can see it. Everybody's got eyes. If there's concerns within the general public, hey, this looks a little unsafe, come up to me. We'll talk. That's what I'm here for, is to make sure everybody's safe. Not only younger kids, older people, everybody. Make sure people coming through, coming by, we're all safe. You know, that's the main point of it. So
So have you already done an assessment of the town?
yeah, I've
Do you have a list of,
yeah, there's topics, there's a lot of stuff on there. I mean, just for what I do as, you know, just a fireman, as a firefighter, there's stuff I see every day. You know, it's just my job being a firefighter, so there's stuff.
Keep in mind that as city marshal, Frank will be doing administrative ordinances because there's not a city attorney. So there'll be hearings placed. So this will give us a chance to go ahead and do the compliance for the code compliance because it's not a city code enforcer. It's a city code compliance and city marshal.
So you'll have a judge and then you vote.
So we have a judge currently.
Who
We
is
still
that?
retained
Is it
our judge.
Brown?
Yes, so we currently still have our judge that we had prior to.
Okay.
The only thing is here, with administrative, you will not have a judge and you will not need that information because it will not come across as a judge. What will happen is, there'll be administrative ordinances, so those administrative ordinances can be placed. He'll be able to go down and give, like the people that live in our old house, he'll be able to give them a notice that they need to go ahead and mow their property. Then once that's given, they would be able to request a hearing, but the hearing would come here. We do not have municipal court, nor will we till there's a city attorney in place, which we would have to charter out of. So as of right now, we're doing what we can from an administrative level. So as administrative, without the actual municipal court, he can go ahead and issue those citations, and we can follow through with them at an administrative level. It won't be a municipal level with municipal court, because there's not municipal court.
What happens if they don't comply and they get fined and they don't pay the fine?
We're able to put it onto their taxes for them to pay on their taxes. It's gonna be the same way as before. We just cannot give jail time. That's the only thing that takes it out there. You would have to have a
Okay,
city.
in the city, they went to a criminal, you got like thrown in jail versus, and they found great success with that. People know their lawns
That's
really fast.
motivation.
They did, they got those lawnmowers fast.
Now, if you were to, on a level, if you were come to the city council and you were upset with what is happening, you would have the right to go ahead and take it to a judge, but the judge would be at a district level. It would not be at La Crosse at the city level. It'd be a district level.
So you are moving forward on
Absolutely.
the rundown,
Absolutely.
trashy.
This, appointing Frank tonight will give us the chance to go ahead and take care of those properties.
Yay.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It would be
It
better
gives
that,
us,
it gives us, without him, there's nothing. We can't do anything. And we're out of compliance and have been out of compliance since 2006.
Thank you.
Or 2004. Okay. So next, we'll have the building permits.
Okay, on that, I talked with Jeff Babb, and he said all we need to do is you guys look over them and approve them, and then we'll send them off to him, and he will like make the final decision. But he said he will more than likely approve anything you guys approve. So these are it. Oh yeah, and then on Dave Liberton's, he wants to build a fence, but his property line, it's on that picture, is actually only a foot away from the school building. So he wants to build a fence a foot away from the sidewalk. That, we would have to grant him an easement to do that. And that's just completely up to you guys if you wanted to do that or not. But he wants to build a fence past his property line.
Past his property?
Well, yeah, into the,
Because it's so close.
yeah, it's really close to the
Onto the
school.
under the sidewalk.
Where the line is, that's where, let me see.
it just gives them more opportunity to put more crap in.
It's already there.
It's
already-
This is Joe's. This is
He's already
Joe's.
put that over.
This is Joe's building one, so his is over
You
here.
see all the tax stuff outside there?
Can you turn your back? The last page. There it is.
Because I'm also a firefighter, have been a
This is his
firefighter.
property line.
Yeah, I was like,
That's his actual property line.
How'd you look up these guys?
See how close it is to the building?
long stuff.
Yeah, so he wants to build a fence out.
Just curious.
See, there's the sidewalk.
Do you live
He
there?
wants to build a fence out here, so we would
I
have to
live
grant
over,
him his personal property.
15.
No, a foot away from the sidewalk.
Chris and Oak.
But it's, yes.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
not,
Yeah.
but it's still an
the sidewalk still show?
At their house?
Just-
No,
So it's a
it would be.
footpath.
Oh, so it's like, so if you have a sidewalk, it's like.
I mean, it's not that far.
I'm on 2 years now.
Like, this is where he wants to put this, okay, this is the property line.
On the road?
This is our courtyard.
I'm usually home or studying or working, so I also
Once
help
it's
out
close
in that county, Trigo County as well, for fires.
There's barrels of.
So you go on the forest fire? So do you get called out for a lot of them, or?
Just certain times of the year, like we just got done through fire
Like he,
season.
right now, he's got this stuff on
So
our property.
I'll go to Hayes and kind of do different stuff in the area.
But you're from Florida?
Yeah. Southwest, like where the hurricane hit.
That's his
Oh,
property.
my God.
Oh,
2 feet, 3
I'm
feet.
glad you were there.
I know, yeah.
I would say.
And he would
Use
from
some of
now
that water
on.
here.
I know.
It's bad.
Redirect that.
Yeah. So no, we couldn't pipe it in?
We would be giving him more property.
Yeah.
Which you
But
would.
it's not It's just that this is the technicality.
It's no different than
Yeah.
being expanded on the road.
Right.
That's been the main thing. I'm not biased. It's health hazard.
All that.
It's a fire hazard.
Plus these were
Yeah, that's a big concern too, because the structure inhabitable. It's still bad. I mean, it's built with a fire. It's right there.
Now, inside, down the fire. That was to go up in the air. Something happened.
Yeah. So what's the annex then? That's
Because I was gonna get with them, that on their project, come out there and look at, you know, if they're, where their makeup is, that is
Clear out.
appropriate. Steps to go. Someone lives there?
That's where he wants to.
Fireman, I'm a firefighter here, for the track, and also, I'm the Ness County Fire Coordinator. So for Ness County, I also oversee their operation for the fire and rescue.
So they don't have any emergency response. There is no control. There's nothing.
That's kind of where I help out Bill in a way, like, kind of on this side, like, because I know a lot of people run down on this side, we're so far away from them. We're kind of.
And I'm new here too, so.
Yeah.
But I know not to be dangerous. There's a lot of
That's why I got this whole thing a lot. Like, I can call them, that's kind of, with fire, and emergency, like that. I have direct contact where I'm at, and that kind of.
But that's a big focal point for everybody.
Yeah. And that's the thing, help out our small town. You know, we're still here, don't forget about us, you know. There's people that live here, grew up here, love it. I love it, enjoy it. Appreciate it, I guess, to live here, you know. Make sure we keep that here.
That's one thing.
Well, it's like we're trying to move forward and everybody's celebrating their past.
And that's why I love to see community activities. I enjoy it, all seeing it's something, you know, like there's a road right now. People visit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
Who's the fire marshal here?
So there is an actual, like, if you're in town,
Yeah.
For like this district, who's the?
I have him on my phone, so he is, let's see here. I worked at Kane's, an arson case with him actually. So it's kind of, it's weird because Dodge City, so they have Goodland and Dodge City, and they have an appointed marshal to every area, but you're not, sometimes you're not gonna get him because they're so stacked up load-wise. So it might be Jeff or another guy, depending on.
Okay, either way, as long as it's just.
For this zone,
I would rather see a paper from.
No, I would too.
Yeah, once it's behind there.
This man is the biggest problem. Yeah, totally.
Thomas, in this area, if you keep Thomas, yeah, but like I said, he's not, you know, this is technically his zone, but if you call him for, you know, if I call, when I have like an arson fire, I might get him, or might have another guy come out because they're so stacked up loaded with calls throughout the state. Because they have their zones, but they also cover anywhere in the state of Kansas as well.
Those guys still can order an inspection.
Yeah, so what we try to look at
So it's
in a situation like that, I try to go for, obviously, if you have kids, stuff like that, to build a really good solid case to present, because
What's
it's
he
a
gonna
very
do?
back and forth concept, but I think right there we have a lot to work on to build a good case, to make
This
it
part here?
legitimate, hey, look, something definitely
Oh, I
needs to
see
be
a
done.
pile of junk around the
Yeah,
whole
'cause
damn
you
place.
guys live, within a certain amount of feet of that structure,
We share the building library space, and because of that, we can't insure our building.
Yeah, because of that attached, because they're not gonna take over the responsibility, the insurance doesn't want to have anything to do with that, yeah. And that's,
Do you have Keith Thomas's number? Yeah, I can give it to you.
Which hospital is that? I go
Did I
to-
get your attention?
Here's a thing.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to table it.
Yeah.
On the building permit for Dave Liverton,
if I could come over there as well.
I'm gonna make a motion to table it. Is there a second?
And I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to table Dave Liverton. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear what you guys were doing.
To table it,
They tabled Dave Liverton.
Okay.
I ain't giving in.
Whether or not you allow him to approve it, but
Yeah.
Well,
Will we know next?
I think we'll probably know by next meeting whether he's gonna be able to or not. Because I don't even know that he's gonna be able to,
You mean him physically, or you saying no?
him physically.
But he wouldn't build the
But-
fence, literally.
Pardon?
He wouldn't be the person building the fence.
Well, he was planning on it, yes.
Okay,
With the
next
one-
we will do, so this is the one for, this is what that Carol one, not Carol, what's his name? Eastman, Robert Eastman. Gonna build, right?
Who's gonna do
he is, he's digging the lines for it already.
Which he got
Oh,
approved.
this is what he wanted to do?
Dig safe, that's all he did.
Who's
He didn't have building permits.
No, we can fix it.
Yeah, he's got
By your house.
He doesn't even have a building permit.
right here.
This is what we're approving, that's what we're doing.
Finally,
Yes.
So, okay, so now question, Nicole.
this is what he's building.
Isn't there, none of these should be
Yeah.
approved, is there?
he's got a trailer
No.
over there.
Okay, so this is,
No, that's what you're supposed to do, deny or approve.
no, I'm looking to see what.
Oh, he did, I mean, I think that was gonna be, that's what he wants to build.
I've done that. Yeah, good while.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the building permit for Robert Eastman for 512 Washington Street.
Austin, who is that? Eastman.
512 Washington Street.
Where is that?
Oh, it's back there.
It's over at my house.
Over at your house?
It's where all the ant piles are in the alley behind Marge Moran. You know, the big piles of dirt, looks like ant piles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's what he wants to.
He's gonna build us something there.
Building a container home.
I think paint
Okay.
Oh,
Here's the illustration.
Well, I can't see it. I'm old, I'll say.
Yeah, can you pass that around?
Yeah, pass
I'm
that
just
around.
curious, I'd like to see
Look,
it.
that's a nice one.
Oh, yeah.
that's what he wants to build.
It looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
He's digging out by hand now.
Oh, by hand?
He's digging for, I don't know. I call it ant rods, but this was
So-
like an
I'll make a motion.
I'm gonna go is there a second?
ant, so it's
Okay, so moving second to go ahead and approve the building permit.
Okay.
Robert Eastman from 512 Washington, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried. Okay, next one. This is Joe's.
And then I just, like we did that drawing.
This is the one that, and this is the existing fence that's there?
That's the one he's putting out. Like, it's a rough estimate, because I really,
I don't even see a shipping container in that drawing.
no, that was like a drawing, just, he'd gotten off the internet to show me, and I told him just to attach it to that. On the back, though, he's got something drawn.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Now I
On
get
this.
it.
I don't even know if this is.
Nicole, thank you.
Okay, I did this because I wasn't really sure, is that right? Exactly, that's what the picture is.
That'd be me.
Yeah, more or less. Okay.
Yeah, this is over.
Yeah, my house is over here, and I did that with like a medium. Okay, this line.
He said that it's not a shipping container.
All right.
No,
So who is he?
20 feet from the house.
He lives
I also want to build
This is
on.
the camper behind the
Chili's.
Chili's.
Behind Chili's.
Okay.
He owns
All
that
right, I'll
brown
write that
house
down
where
there.
Tony Harp used to live.
Where's that? It's a little bit further.
From you, right down the corner, that house across from Choate's.
The turquoise house
Oh,
across
the brown house.
The brown house.
Okay.
He's actually building this
Well, he
thing?
ain't gonna be there.
It's just an example of what he sort of has.
He said
If you turn it over on the back, Diana.
The back is
More
for the property
information on
line
the
part.
That's a better rendition. I'm sorry.
And that's where it is now.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve Joe's building permit.
I'll second it.
What's the address? We have a-
310 West Beach.
Yours, 310 West Beach?
I couldn't remember the.
Well, it just says mailing address, so I don't know. Didn't ask for a physical.
PO Box 309.
Okay, 310 West Beach. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve Joe Tippman's building permit for 310 West Beach
Oh, I heard that.
Avenue, Cracken.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Joe Tippman's building permit for 310 West Beach. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side, motion carried.
Fence.
Just our fence.
And goes to that.
Dave's young.
We're gonna be
Okay.
having a party.
Now, we'll get back to here. So we'll have commissioner reports. Start with Commissioner McNair.
Really don't have a whole lot. I do plan on this week getting all the properties mowed for the winter. So we can have them done for the winter and try to get everything weed eated and done up. So that then in the fall, spring, it's just easier if everything's there. So, and then also then Shane can go ahead and winterize the mowers and get all that stuff ready. So that's kind of my plan for this week. And it's a little cool today and yesterday, so, or tomorrow, so maybe toward the end of the week, but I'm gonna get on that this week. Really, just checking with Shane, make sure the water was going okay. He's doing really well, I think, with everything, and really pleased with his, what he's helped do and got involved in. All the little learning tools that he's had to go through, so he's doing really well. So I think we're on the right page there. That's it.
Good. Pat?
Yeah. Everything is going good. got everything mowed down there. And they've even mowed a couple of lots, empty lots. And we're gonna start in on that. We're gonna start mowing some of these lots around here and get some of that trash moved over. So the town doesn't look so darn bad when you go through it. It's pathetic. I got 2 lots cleaned up by myself, so it's working pretty good. I sprayed it and everything else. I hope we're probably going to have to go on the tax rules because I know they're not going to pay it. But I'm sick of looking at them. I did.
Thank you, Matt.
Yes, thank you.
Does that include Buxton's?
Some of these people are pretty hard to find. California, Florida, how in the world did they ever get to McCracken?
I ask myself that every day.
Pat, does that include the Buxton house next to ours?
I moved 17 miles and it took me 6 months to do that.
Arlene, that property will be assessed with your code compliance. That's one of the properties. These properties were ones that Pat had permission to mow on his own. It had nothing to do with the city.
Yeah.
I saw her picture surfaced on Facebook about 2 months ago. And I haven't pursued it, and
You mean the Buxton property?
yeah, Gail and
Gail
Gail.
Warner.
No, the
Pictures
city
surfaced
doesn't
on
have
Facebook.
anything to do with them. I'm doing that on my own. I'm just sick and tired of looking at them.
Gary Gerlin over in Scott Mason, and very good job.
And I don't know if it was Les.
Les mowed some of that in
Yeah,
front. He
he's
couldn't stand it.
keeping that
Yeah.
mowed down next to the curb.
As long as you guys got permission, it's fine. Otherwise, we need you all to stay off properties.
Pardon me?
I said, as long as you got permission, written permission, or you got regular verbal permission from those landowners, it's fine. Otherwise, we need you to stay off the properties because it's your liability then. I can't stop you, but I'm just letting you know. You just need to make sure you got permission. That's why we're not on them. Otherwise, they'd already been taken care of by the city. But now that we have a city marshal, now we can go ahead and get those notices.
Now, that starts now.
You do K4 twice a year. All you have to do is out of Great Bend, it's a number to call, and that's, state. So they clean that. They will make it. If you noticed, when Pride was active, it was always cleaned up on that K4, and that was, you did it through the state of Kansas because it's a state highway.
Is that just the street, just the road?
K4, the road goes through. So on George Hutter's property, they would weed whip all of that and they'd make it look. So I don't know if
They would only do just the easement part of it. That's all
Right.
they would do.
but it looked a lot better. Have you contacted them?
I was unaware you could step on people's property because we were told that we couldn't.
Well, the state of Kansas said it's out of Great Bend.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the rest of the property.
So I'm talking about K4. That's a start to make it look better.
So is that how they were able to extract the tree down at Charmaine's then? Because that's on K4?
Yeah.
Because
I have no idea.
K4 did that. They said that they were contacted because there was a tree that was hanging out and that was on a property.
Well, we
So
didn't
they-
we just said.
No, I'm just asking, is that how that was done? Because that's K4.
Yeah, it was through the state of
Because
Kansas.
they would have had to go on private property to do that. So
I
that's
guess
why I'm
we were
asking.
probably on the easement, weren't
It's
they?
a
I think
easement,
so,
same rule
yes.
apply, a road easement probably.
And that was their responsibility, so you might want to check in on that.
Yeah, that's good to know. I was unaware.
Because we did it twice a year with Pride. We did it before the rodeo in July, and then we did it before Fall Fest in October. So I think his name, Nicole, I think his name was Kevin. I may have that in some of my notes in Topeka. I'll try to
Well, I
find that.
work for like KDOT, so I
Yeah,
talk to
you
them once a
probably
week
know.
at least.
Well, because the reason I asked about the tree is because there's that tree at Harold Bergman's that blocks the stop sign. So is that something that K4 will take care of then, because it hangs out into the county?
Probably.
They got in a lot of trouble over that. That
became quite an issue.
I don't think they'll come back and do it.
No.
Well, for tree removal?
No.
No, well, if they're
Well, I can contact them and see
not
what.
done as well.
I can, that's one person, I can contact them and see.
But as far as cleaning it up, we've had it cleaned every year. It's been cleaned every year.
Well, the city holds a contract with the state on Highway 4 going through town, on who cleans what, when, and where. And the way I read it, the city is not required to do anything on Highway 4. It all goes to KDOT. That's the way the contract reads.
We just give them a heads up, hey, this looks bad, and they come over and take
They
care
come
of
over
it,
and
right?
take care of it.
Okay, sounds good.
They clean it up,
Yes, they do.
but, you know, they can also reverse that contract too.
Well, they were very good and.
Yeah, that's very helpful, that's good information, something to look into, that way.
Yeah, and it looked great.
Kevin, you said?
Pardon me?
Kevin?
It was at least 4 years ago. Now that may have changed.
Okay.
But they'll,
Well, if you have a phone number, if you want to text that number to the city phone, then Nicole will be able to contact
I
you.
will do like this, yes.
Okay. Next, I'll give my mayor's report. So, as you know, we're gonna have our city marshal able to get some ordinances taken care of administrative level, so that'll be good. I'd like to kind of thank everybody for being able to come out and support the library. I saw that there was we had a movie night this last,
Oh,
you
yes,
know,
that was fun.
that Valerie did on the inside, so I'd like to kind of, tell everybody thank you for their support.
I think Valerie thought maybe they'd try to have another one.
They're talking about a paper moon, but not outside.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'd like to see that.
They thought maybe doing a paper moon possibly in the library, because that's what
It has to be in the
has to be in the library because
So
of
you
their
get
license.
credit.
So I know that is there, and then I know that we have, Diana talked about the parade, so that'll be something nice to get community going. Hopefully we can make that a every year thing, and it'll become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's the plan.
That'll be nice. Also, I know that right now Shane's got a little bit, he's kind of under the weather at the moment, so he hasn't been able to get around and get everything taken care of at this point, but he's on the mend, so that's good. Also, the pool, they've started they put the cover on. We've got to get a couple more bags for to hold the cover down, the water bags, broke a few. And got it drained down. They're blowing out the lines, they're getting it all closed up, they got closing chemicals in it, so that's on its way. Hopefully we'll have that all finished up here soon. We want to make sure with the freeze, so it didn't freeze. I know that there was an issue with the way that the library was being paid through payroll taxes, and the way it's been done for many years, we always pay the library's payroll taxes. And so they wanted to make sure that that was taken care of, so those could be changed. Nicole's getting the software implemented. Trying to think what else here. You guys went to that.
We're just taking all of my stuff to say.
So you went to the meeting. So I think that's about all I got. Thank you again.
Actually, Nicole and I did go to the league conference, and it was very, very informative. I learned quite a few things there. We went to different classes, and some of the things she had already learned, but it never hurts us to be refreshed and to know what some of the things. I was kind of surprised at some of the things that they brought out on people that go in and film, try to antagonize you. It's the First Amendment, and they have the right, and what people really have to put up with that they can't do, and then what they can do. And so we really did learn quite a bit of stuff there, so it was very interesting. So next year we're going to let the next two do it. But yes, it was very interesting, and it was very good.
Oh, I guess I got one more thing. I attended the city meeting over at Ellis and was able to bring back a few items that they kind of do over there that maybe we can implement over here. As far as maybe possibly like opening our meetings up at 6 as a public meeting, so that the commissioners have time to review everything and look over everything, and then just go ahead for, as far as more, the bills per se. So it'd be a public meeting, you would come in, but it would also be, if you didn't want to stay for the whole beginning of the meeting, it wouldn't open up. It would be opened up, but it wouldn't be the actual meeting that you would probably want to be here for. It would basically be where you come to do the bills, we'd be able to review the bills, look at them, but nothing would be approved until actually 6:30 when the public actually would generally come. It just kind of helps to cut down some of these long meetings a little bit. That was one of the things that they do. So,
Good
and
idea.
I found out that our cemetery's not as, our cemetery's kind of in the same loop as they are, and they've got some different things they're working on as well. Yes, Joe?
I was saying that's a good idea.
It was very, I welcome anyone to go over and look at their meeting. It's been very well. They're able to, they have a mayor council form of government, and it's very nice the way that they run their meeting.
Who's mowing our cemetery?
Shane and I
Norma
did it
Okay.
this last time. We did.
Caden had a, first there was a little bit of an issue with the amount, because it was set at that 410. And originally when I talked to him, he had said that it was the 410 was fine. And that was kind of the reason that suddenly didn't want to do it anymore either, was that. So I told him to approach the council and go ahead and ask for, you know, a raise. But it's been brought to my attention that he's moved and he's not really interested in
Son
it.
was here?
No, Caden. Caden Cox.
Oh,
At the last meeting, he's the one that took over somebody's contract. So,
I guess I was here, but missed out on
okay,
I got another outfit that wants to come in and bid on
bid on what?
the cemetery.
On the cemetery. Currently, it's under the city marshal, or city superintendent, but we can look and see. Okay. All right, now we'll move on to the city clerk.
Well, Austin pretty much told everything that I needed to say.
Not everything. You can go into greater detail.
We're getting software, it should be by the end of this month, it should be, all be ready to go, I hope. That's really all I've been doing, is that, I can't think of anything else.
You can explain the library better.
Oh, the library, well, I guess at one point the library was working under our EIN, and so they would pay us, and we would pay their payroll taxes. Well, they got their own EIN, I don't know when, but,
Before Chris left.
okay, so it's been a while, and so we're just gonna cut ties with the library in that sense. We're not gonna pay their payroll taxes anymore, they're gonna pay them on their own, just so it doesn't mess up our end of the year figures. And it's just easier that way, it's just adding an extra step that's unnecessary, so we're just taking that extra step away. And I went to the meeting, the library meeting, and they agreed, so we're gonna do that. And that's about it.
Okay, treasurer.
Oh, yeah, and she's, since we haven't gotten the software in yet, we're just gonna wait until, it would be next month until it's in, because it's so confusing right now with everything, and
We're not hurting.
Yeah.
We're paying money,
Yeah,
we're paying
everything's
bills,
paid,
we're
so-
under budget, where everything's
yeah,
good.
everything's good, so,
We're just waiting to get it all in the software to be,
yeah.
So then
So then we'd be getting a report every time, like a printout, but we don't have any of that yet, because we have to go in and we have, as soon as they get all of our chart of accounts in there, then we have to build the city in the software, and we haven't started that yet, but I anticipate, she said this week we should be able to start doing some of that, because that's gonna be a lot, but it's gonna be for the best, for sure.
So with
Oh, yeah, and we did come in $3,000 under budget on it.
Good.
Good deal. She did good, good.
So with the software, my question was, So would it be next meeting then, when the report will be done? or-
Yeah, we're hoping, yes.
Hoping. Okay.
We gotta get trained and get it all.
Yeah, because it's a lot of
I was
training,
just wondering
yeah,
if
it's,
it was
it's quite a
like
bit of
middle of the
training,
month
but
or
she
no.
said that by the 31st, we should be able to start this.
Okay.
Because I was on the phone with her for quite a while, a couple days ago, doing all, setting payroll up, so. But now that we've gotten this done with the library, it should move quickly now.
So. So, then we need to make a motion to table the treasurer's report. Getting the software.
Well, I make a motion that we table the treasurer's report until the software is set up, which should be by the end of this month.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded to table the treasurer's report at this time until the software is set up. Anticipated by the end of the month. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side. Motion carried. Okay. Old business, streets.
We can probably get, as soon as Shane gets his body back in shape, we can get started on him. He's my lifter, so he's.
Do we need anything else for him, or are we okay?
I think we're gonna use what we got right now, and, then by spring, if we need more, we'll order it in and have it in. But I think we'll try to get as much as we can with what we've got, because I really don't wanna leave that stuff sitting in that another winter.
We gotta go down there with the pool, fill that in, that's good.
Yeah. So I just wanna use up what we've got in today.
So what are you using? I just,
They had ordered,
Ground asphalt.
yeah, bagged ground asphalt. That's what I did use for Shirley's up there when I filled hers. So I really just wanna use that up, because it's kind of been, this is the second year it's been sitting there. I mean, it's still good, don't get me wrong, but I just don't wanna leave it there for another winter. That, so we'll use it up, and it's a pallet and
It would
yeah.
be the same.
Yeah, because they ordered it at the beginning of last summer.
Like it's going on 7 years, not 2 years.
And we have a pallet and a half of that to use. So I think we can get the basic small. We're gonna go around and try to get the critical stuff done, so that that's first. And then, and I know up at Kathy's, there's a big trenched out, I don't know why that's washed out like that, but I talked to Shane
from
and
the
I.
rain we had.
Well, but this is the yeah, it couldn't possibly been the rain, it's the asphalt actually. And, so I thought maybe for right now, we'd just go around and scoop up all that gravel and use some of that gravel and fill that in, just so somebody don't turn that corner and go, that would
Didn't you
be.
guys also anticipate having the street sweeper fixed?
Well, Nicole's dad is supposed to look at it.
He's really busy right now. I just called him the other day about it, and he said that he will get to it as soon as he can, but they've had a lot of problems because they are down 2 CDL drivers, and
It's
so
kind of like the age-old
it's,
thing.
yeah, like,
Everybody
they're
needs help.
having a hard time finding workers too, so.
The street sweeper.
As he said, all of his
He's gonna
equipment
look at
were
that
only
street
new,
sweeper
and,
and see if
but
he
he
can
did
get it
say that
going
he would help
for
us. Still, you know.
I was
he's
just curious where we're
Yeah,
at
he
with
still
it.
plans on it, but
It might be next spring, but.
I don't think it'll be that
as far as
long.
runnable. but-
because then that starts into the track season, so I don't think it'll be that long. But I told him we need help winterizing everything, and so I know that he'll be here soon. He's just really, really, really busy, and the drag race season isn't over yet, so that's his main thing that he does.
Well, it's like everything.
And like I said, they just can't find employees, so he's having to work extra. But I know that he did tell me he would still come down and do it.
Okay, anything else on the streets? Okay, so the next thing we've got is pool. I touched a little bit on that. Okay. So, the amount approved for the pool was $2,500. There was an issue when they went to fix the pool. There was a pool pump that was put in. Donations were anticipated for that. There was 4,000 total in donations, so the donations, we're working with the league right now currently to figure out as far as the budgeting goes with that. The $4,000 would have to come off the top of the funds for the donations, and then after that would go into our regular budget.
That's already came out of there.
So the league's looking into that currently. As far as the
What league?
What, Emmett?
League of Municipalities,
But it's already come out of that?
the $4,000, with the way the fund accounting is, since everyone's new to this position, we're having the league look over the budgeting as far as where it comes out for the 4,000, because there's 4,000 total in donations. So we're wanting to make sure that the donations come off the top before we actually go into our $8,200 budget. So
They've already come off the top,
They have?
yeah. And then we're only approved the 2,500, so now we're at 4,000 and some dollars that we have to come up with, and we've already pulled off the top. And then we were told not to put for some reason, even though we spent the money for concessions, that we weren't supposed to put that back in there. That's supposed to go in the operating fund, which I'm checking in that, because that doesn't seem right. When we used pool money to buy it, it should go back to the pool.
But the pool's not its own entity. The pool's under the city, so any revenue comes off from the city. So it goes under the city. It doesn't go into its own, because the pool is under an operating fund. At the last meeting, we made a motion to change the pool out of the line item in the budget and to put them into just regular, into the budget fund, or into the general fund. So everything's in the general fund.
But you can't move it out of the budget when there was already a budget. You cannot move it out of the budget until 2023 when we dissolve it.
No, we haven't done any of that yet.
So you still have to work off of the budget, because we haven't done that. So that is not until next year when we dissolve that. So we're still working with the $8,200 budget, and we will.
Which is what we're having the league look into to see where it goes underneath budgeting. So, so as far as the amount, the pool amount for the customer deposits, the amount was for $4,199.87. That's minus the $2,500, so that brought a total of $6,699.87. Which we're also underneath a contract. You may keep that in mind. You guys got this pool with a grant, so therefore they signed a paper with the land conservation that we would keep all pools and maintenance for that pool in order to keep the money for the grant. So we have to keep up the expenditures for the pool, whatever it costs to go ahead and fix it to run regular hours. We're bound with the contract when they got the grant.
Is that forever?
Till you close the pool.
Oh.
But they have to, it's a wildlife conservation fund.
What's it?
It's the National Wildlife Conservation Fund for water conservation.
Okay.
So we have to maintain the pool.
So obviously, it sounds like there's some discrepancies between you and the treasurer. on the actual accounting finance stuff.
So I'm having a league look into it.
About the method.
We don't need, no, the pump was not needed, it was not needed. I mean,
So as far as
that is not what this is.
that,
We will make reasonable
that would be
with
where we're at with that. So donations, we've got donations still coming in also.
deterioration.
That will take care of what needs to be fixed. Okay.
So what meant that we had to do this.
Now I'm going to
That is not what that says.
go to new business.
Not at all.
Okay, next we'll have new business, so there's the combining of the checking and the savings account to accrue more revenue for the city.
How does that work?
Nicole can tell you.
Okay, when I was talking with the lady that does the software, she said that the software is gonna divide everything up for us. That we shouldn't have all these savings accounts everywhere, because we should have it all in one, because of course, if you're gonna have a lump sum of money, you'll earn more interest off of it rather than having it into all different accounts. And so she said you should put all of your savings into one account, all of your checking into one account, like the water company, everything into one. So it just works out, because right now we're writing checks out of 2 separate accounts. And then we're having to reimburse one side, and it's really confusing. And she said if you just work out of one big operating fund, then this, like I said, the software will keep it separate. We won't have to worry about that. And it would just be a lot easier and more practical, like less steps involved in the whole process. And she said that is the way that we should go, but it has to be approved. And like she said, when the CDs come up, which they just were in August, so I assume it'll be in the next August that they come up in 2 years,
They're on different.
that we should combine those two, like into one, because they make more money. They accrue more revenue for the city off of interest, because right now we're just making the bare minimum. I mean, it's almost nothing. When we could be having our money make money for us.
You're not gonna give it that much.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, it might change. They just said that you should have your money should work for you. But
But I'll
But that
tell
wouldn't include the cemetery, right?
the cemetery, yeah, it would. Because in the software, we keep it separate. Because I told her, I said, well, we moved the cemetery into its own account because we were afraid that something might happen and we would spend money out of that and lose our money that funds the cemetery. And she said that the software wouldn't allow you to do it. Wouldn't allow you to touch that money. So she recommended we switch it back into all, when we go, and she said you can have all your savings at one bank and all your checking at one bank if you still wanted to honor both banks, but that was just her suggestion. And then she said even with the water company, all of the deposits can go into their own, you know, something just, they always go into the same account, and then we can move those where it wouldn't be, which would be into the water fund, I think. Unless they would go into the operating fund, I'm not sure how that would work, but she said that we will know what to do when the time comes. She just told me to try to get as many accounts combined as possible before October 31st.
Sounds doable.
Huh?
Sounds doable.
I mean, I think that's it. It sounds really logical to me, but
I still think under the cemetery, to be honest with you, being under the will trust,
No, that's my concern. I think it should be kept separate.
I think that really has to be kept separate, you know, because it can be, I know that the software can say that, but our hand doesn't always say that. And I'm a little bit nervous about taking that cemetery and
Well,
putting in there.
let's be realistic. If those accounts were separate 20 years ago, 30 years ago, money would have never been moved from the cemetery account over to the street fund.
No, it wouldn't.
that has nothing to do with this, though. It would have still been moved because they didn't know that they couldn't move it, so they still would have moved it, even if it would have been in its own account.
Wouldn't have been harder to move?
No,
No,
no. Would have been just the same.
no, just takes 2 people.
It's just a checking account. I mean, it's no different. They would have still been able to do that. without the knowledge of knowing that they couldn't. I mean, it's not, if somebody's gonna take something and have the authority to take something, we're not gonna have control over that. I mean, it's.
I would make a
gonna
motion
happen.
to combine the checking and savings account to approve more. And I think that I would do that in lieu of the cemetery. We could have them look into it as far as the Will Trust to make sure we're okay to do that, since it's Kansas.
Well, I know she made a comment that there was 2 savings accounts on the cemetery alone. I think those definitely should be combined.
Into one, yeah.
That's kind of crazy to have 2 different ones. Those should definitely be put in to one. I'm okay with doing the rest of it. I just really don't, I'm just a little bit nervous about sanitation. I really am, and the reason being is because when we talked to the league before, and when I talked to the attorneys at the league, when we was having this, the will trust it's really it's really just a touchy thing. I just don't want to give, if we have to just, I mean, I know they can pull that report, but if everything's really in a separate account there and all done, I just think it would be a smart thing to do. But I think with the rest of it, I agree, we should put those CDs together and that can be, and anything that's not attached to that, and anything that would make us a higher interest rate, that would make sense. And I do think that if we're gonna do this, that we should put them in one, find out for sure, and put one in one bank for savings and CDs, and one the checking in the other one. That way we are honoring both banks.
I know will trusts are very complex,
They
and
very much are.
I would clarify that to the hilt before I did anything with it as far as moving it into. You're talking about moving the money or moving.
Well, we just moved it, we actually just moved it last week out. We took it out of the general fund, it's been in there always. And, because that's what I thought that we should do, and then when I talked to the lady from software, she said, ooh, you shouldn't have done that, you should have left it in there, because the software will keep it separate. I mean,
What's the purpose of keeping it in there is to have more money?
because then you're only operating out of one
collecting
operating fund, and
interest.
it's easier when you go to the end of the year reports and all that, so you only have one operating fund and all these different accounts. It's just easier to, because,
You're gonna have to clarify with an attorney and see if that's even
We already did
allowable.
that, that's why we moved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been that way,
I
it's always
see.
been in the general fund, and we thought we were doing the right thing, and then,
I see your point and everything, but
No, I do too. I see that.
But I get
nervous.
serious clarification on whether or not you can, or what you should do with that, actually. I've talked to attorneys about trusts, and they're like, I don't even know.
well, that's what, we did talk to our attorney, and he said, just put it in its own account until I figure it all out.
Yeah,
So, that's where it is. But like, as far as the water company and the city, like the general fund, it should all be together. Because we do budget it together, I mean, we budget
And
for
you
the
are
water
right, I
company.
mean, the sewer, we pay so much back to the
That's-
city.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's what your software is for.
Yeah, it's because we do a lot of paying the city back and forth, like we paid the city a water bill for this building. That's kind of redundant. I mean, so,
It's going pretty good with the software, learning it and implementing
I
everything
hope,
to get it
well,
all
we haven't
loaded
really
in.
gotten that far yet, but I hope it makes things, she said that it'll make things so much easier.
I mean, for you.
Yes, I
I
hope.
mean, for you, are you getting into it? And
Well, I haven't started training yet, but I did get the book and I have been reading it, so. It
Looks
seems like
like-
it'll be, she said it's a learning curve, but it'll be
Sure.
so much better.
Yeah.
Nicole does a lot of research and stuff.
Yeah, I
really
do.
feel very good. I
Thank
mean,
you,
on that
Nicole.
part of it, I feel very confident in that.
Thank you.
But let me put it this way, I think we should make a motion that we can put all the,
I just made the motion.
Well, I know,
Second.
you need
You just did.
Yeah, I just
Thanks.
made a
So
second.
how did you word it?
How did I word it? I said, I would make a motion to combine the checking and the savings account, but except for the cemetery,
Okay.
I would like to look into it a little bit more before we make that decision.
I just wanted to make sure that I
Yeah.
got right. Yeah.
That way they kind of accrue more revenue to the city. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to combine the checking and savings accounts to accrue more revenue for the city, except for the cemetery at this time, without, we look into the program, look into it a little bit more. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same side, motion carried. Okay, moving on. Okay, next is Mitch's beer license.
Yes, we need to just approve his license for the year.
You forgot one.
Yeah, we got
The cell
next
phone.
cell phone.
Oh, my bad. Disconnecting the city cell phone. Okay, Nicole.
Well, we have a landline in the city office anyway, and I stopped taking the phone with me due to I needed to like separate a little bit of my life from the city. So,
Why?
because it's so much fun. So I think that, because I did talk to Next Tech, and they said that on October 8th is when we could do it without having to pay like for the whole phone. And it would just be better, since we already have internet in here, we have to have a landline anyway, so we have voicemail on it, and I hope that they'll let us take our phone number from this phone and put it over to this other one. So that would be the only thing, is if they don't, then we'll have a different phone number, and that, I would be really upset by that, but
We have changed.
I think we might be able to, because
I wouldn't see why
that
they
used to be
should.
Sandra's house phone number, so
Yeah.
it was a landline before it ever became a cell phone.
And when the landline rings, this number that they've got on there now, it rings to I bet everybody in this town has gotten a phone call to that landline, because I don't know if that's just a number that everybody had at one time or what, but I even got a call on you today for it. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but I just think it'd be easier, and it would eliminate a bill.
Yep.
Because like I said, I don't take the phone with me anymore, so it stays here just like it would be a landline.
So what is the number you're supposed to call?
2209. And that goes to this phone, and hopefully it will go to that phone.
What's the prefix? 789?
78394.
I'll make a motion that we disconnect the phone with the agreement that we can keep the number. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Well, if we can't keep it, we can't keep the number and we have to get it on the table. We'll get a new number, probably.
Okay, I'll second. It's been moved and seconded that we go ahead and disconnect the city cell phone with, hopefully we can keep the number.
And as far as the
If we
phone,
can.
I don't know what you guys
Then
want
we'll
to
look
do
into
with
see
it,
if
but,
we can.
because then we'll have this phone.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side, motion carried.
We'll still have this phone, I don't know what you want to do with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can probably take the city cell phone.
and take bids on it or something.
Yeah, we could just do a bids.
Didn't you guys just buy that?
Well, actually, yeah, but that's why we had to wait till October 8th to get it to turn it off, because then
Contract.
not the contract, but I don't know, the promotion or whatever
The
allowed
promotions
it.
expire.
So then we can keep the phone, but then we have this phone that won't be hooked up, so we can sell it, take bids for it and sell it.
Take it over to.
So
I think that
so-
we end up paying whatever we paid for it, I don't know, like $250, I think, is what
So,
we ended up paying for it.
What we could do is, I'll make a motion to, we can post it on your Facebook. We can post it on your Facebook. We'll have you figure out with Next Tech what the average retail price is.
Okay. I'll research that a little bit.
And then, once you post it on your, you post pictures on there. But we could take and just do like a sealed bids that come directly to you, to the city clerk.
Put it over Walmart, and see what it's worth.
Do it.
Got a machine at Walmart, you stick your phone in there, and it'll be the
Yeah, you could do it.
buyer phone. It'll tell you what it's worth.
Is that it? Outstanding. It's closest to what it's worth.
You probably got to get about 80 or 90 bucks out of it.
Get more than that.
This is an iPhone 12.
Better get like 300 or 400.
Yeah, it's just that level. Okay. And then Mitch's beer license.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to list the phone on
After I research it.
After Nicole researches it, you can call next time, see what the average, what they would say, you know, the condition is of it. And put it on Facebook and set up a agreement on how to get the sealed bids to you, sent to your officers,
Okay.
over to the public. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried. Okay, Mitch's beer license, now we're on the,
It just needs to be approved to let him have a beer license. Because he has to get a new one.
I make a motion that we approve Mitch's beer license.
I'll second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Mitchell Jacobs for Charlie Service beer license. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried. Okay, next one is, do you have the email? So we need to, with the ballot question that was put on the ballot for change of government, it's the November election, we just need to get a approval or denial from the city commission to go ahead and have Chris Gunn come out to answer any questions about the upcoming vote for the change of government. This isn't something technically that we have to have an approval for. I just wanted to bring it up for discussion. Nicole sent out a letter for consensus, and the consensus was to have him
Can you
come.
not just do it remote though?
So the remote, we don't have the capabilities to do remote.
Why don't we? We have a huge screen.
Do you have a Zoom camera that we can do it with, and how we can project him on there?
I'm just saying this because it's going to be $375 for him to drive here, $375 to drive back, plus mileage, and however long he's here, $125 an hour.
Is that what he wrote in his email?
Yes,
I thought he wrote in his email that it was the federal mileage rate plus his hourly,
plus hourly, yeah.
which he said would take about an hour.
To drive here?
No,
No, but
he
he's
didn't
driving
charge
time.
us his drive time. He wasn't charging us his drive time.
But why
say
they can
that.
do it remotely and not?
We do have a projector over there that hooks up to the laptop.
And then you don't have to have a Zoom camera, you can just hook it up and it'll appear up
Are we
there.
able to put him on there plus
Yes.
his slideshow too?
We,
That's the one thing.
we could do a test run on
We could do a test run.
We
I'm
could
okay
do a
with
test
that.
run.
I'm open to
and
whatever.
I'd go
I just want to
back
give the public a town hall meeting.
Right, but no, I think we could, because we've used, as long as they can be hooked up to a laptop, and that one does, because we've used it at the church several times. So I think we should do that. But we can do a test run and make sure it does.
Patrick?
Yeah, sounds kind of fun.
And if
Save
we
money.
do it that way, let's do it soon. If we can't, let's just say it doesn't work, then we'll do it in person.
Okay, so he wants to have he's projecting for the 22nd of August, which is, or October, which is a Saturday. He said around 1 o'clock, that's when we do it in person. So we would need to just get with them and figure out a test run prior to.
Yeah, we can do that.
He's getting a lot of time with his own to come out here.
Well, he said preferably he would do remote, it was just if we had the capabilities to do it.
Yeah.
That's his preference, but if it's not able to,
Yes,
that's what our
we
option
can
is.
check it out and make sure we're doing it.
I'll call Norm and just ask him when he can do a test run.
So you'll be putting that on Facebook, flyers
Actually,
everywhere?
Here in town.
Really?
It'll be in person.
No, but I mean, so people know to come.
I'm about
Yeah, that's why we're
Yeah.
trying to get it out there and make sure that.
Yeah, he just emailed today about it, so.
Okay, so but you will be
Nicole, we
Facebook,
can set it up,
newspaper,
and I can go to my
flyers
house,
everywhere.
and I have to.
I'll even put up the flyers
on
if somebody's
So we
like
can
it.
just see if we can get it.
That's this Saturday?
Yes.
It's only for the city of McCracken.
Then we can just.
Well, the flyers would be for the city of
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I'm not gonna put it, I'll put it in the newspaper, but we're not gonna necessarily, we're gonna spend more money for advertising too.
You're not gonna get it in the newspaper for the
It's this
22nd.
Saturday.
No, I know, but I'm saying as far as, she asked about the newspaper, so I was just saying as far as what advertising, it's only for voters of the city of McCracken, I just wanna keep that in mind.
Right, but they need to know.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
I'll put it on the
Before you
website,
put it out.
I can put it on the website as soon as we find out, we'll test it tomorrow and see if it'll be in person or,
And so then how much did it cost to put it on the ballot?
How much
Didn't
is
cost
it?
nothing
Didn't
on
cost
the
anything.
ballot.
Didn't cost anything? Oh,
No,
good, good.
it was
not
just
a
whether or
special.
not we could, since there's not a special election, so.
Oh,
it didn't
good.
cost
It's with our
anything.
regular election, so it
Oh,
didn't cost,
good.
but we had to have it in by September 8th, I believe.
That's why we had to do
That's
the
why we had to
special
do the special meeting to get it on the ballot in time, or it would have been a special election.
Then that would have been lots of money.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So then,
So basically, we can announce that we're doing, no, we don't have to, we can,
because we don't necessarily have to have a vote to choose the city officer.
right.
So it's not,
Well, and besides, we know.
we could have had it come out here and nominate her.
It
No.
doesn't matter whether we're doing it this way or doing it or
Yeah, that's all it is.
I feel the cheap man Zoom.
Right, yeah.
We'll try
Well, that's
to
his
do that
preference,
sometime.
because he thought maybe he could be more flexible and maybe do it on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday or somewhere in the evening rather than during the day. So,
More people probably be available on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
During the day.
yeah. Okay, so if there's nothing else, then I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no.
She was outside for a little bit.
Yes, what happened Okay, let's go.
They don't want to yell across the road.
I'm sure we'll see you Wednesday morning.
Excuse me. I know.
Alan, we know what we're